Guys, what's up? Very, very cool, but not just cool, but interesting video today. We're going to go over how this brand is crushing. Now, this brand is literally selling clay for $75. Now, this isn't clay that is a finished product and put together. No, you literally have to make this product yourself. They're charging $75 for it, and it's absolutely crushing. Now, you guys like the videos where we just break down brands and why they're doing well, the things that you can implement for yourselves and pull from them. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. So this brand is called Sculpt, and they have created a very, very brilliant product. This is essentially a clay candle making kit. You get the clay, you make a candle with it, you can decorate the candle, and there's so many different stages in the utility and how you use the product. This is brilliant. We have a full masterclass on what they're doing, why it's working, how you can implement it. So let's get right into it, guys. Let's just start with 4 things that they do very, very well. Number 1 is Moat. Moat is essentially the moat that you've built around your product. Why is it hard for other people to replicate the same thing? Why are competitors not coming in? Number 2 is outcome. What is the perceived outcome? And what is the outcome that's translated through your product? Number 3 is sensory. Sensory, no one talks about. This product has an amazing sensory experience, and everyone can implement this in their brands. You just have to get creative. I'm going to show you guys how you can do this. And then number 4 is segmenting customer avatars. So they have a lot of customer avatars. And let's just start with the first thing, which is outcome. Now, what is so great about this product? Well, number 1, they sell outcomes. One thing that I see a lot of people do wrong is they sell a product, they don't sell an outcome. People are selfish. They don't care about your product. They care about what it's going to do for them. Sell them the outcome through your product. How will they feel when they buy the product? So number 1 is they create a shared experience through the product. This could be date night, right? Couples putting the candle kits together. This could be bonding with your kids. This could be girls' night. This could be seasonal occasions. It could be so many different things. But what's so amazing about this product is when you're going to buy this product, you can almost envision that experience that you're going to have. And that's why people buy products. They see them their future self when they're buying and using the product. And they have so many cool different ways to use this product. And different occasions, essentially, right? So that's the first thing, is you want to create a shared experience. Number 2, identity transformation through creation. This is cool for people because they're developing as a person through this product. They're proving to themselves that although they're not creative, they can actually create this beautiful candle. They can use clay. They can, create pottery in a sense. And this product gives them an easy way to do so and prove to themselves that they can actually create something, although they may not think that they're artistic, right? Next, they create a multi-day journey. Now, this is very, very impactful for lifetime value and just the impression of your brand on a customer. Guys, you have to understand that there are a lot of touch points from the time in which people order your product to the time they unbox it, and they're getting shipping updates before they even box it. And now they're using the product. Now, this brand understands that when they create the multi-day journey, they have many touch points on the customers. So they have so many different touch points and opportunities to provide an amazing impression, and that's what they're doing. On day 1, you can sculpt the vessel. Day 2, you can really let it dry. It can air dry. So this is kind of the anticipation. You can paint it and decorate it on another day. You can pour the candle in. And then every time you use the candle, you're remembering the process. These are all touch points that they've refined and done very, very well to not just create a good first impression once, but so many different times. Maybe they go to light the candle 5 months from when they made it and they think, oh my God, I remember creating this. This was so amazing. I'm going to buy this as a gift for my son or a friend or whatever that may be. And this is going to boost their LTV. Next, pre-purchase visualization. Now, they are saying here, you can kind of, you're visualizing what you can feel. Look at this photo, right? You can see that visualization of you and your significant other being happy. Same thing here, date night approved. Another one here. So they're trying to create this visualization of what you're going to feel when you buy the product before you even buy it. And this really helps with their conversion rate and acquiring customers. They have that pre-purchase visualization. And you can also visualize what you're going to feel, right? So like turn lazy days into, or lazy Sundays into a sculpting session. And they have so many different other ways of positioning it. Now, let's get into segmenting avatars. What does this mean? A customer avatar is essentially who you're selling to, right? The first thing that they do very well is this brand understands, and I'm telling you, this is why this brand is scaling. They are segmenting multiple different avatars to multiply their total addressable market. They are selling to people for date night. They're selling to people that want to buy thoughtful gifts. They're selling to women for girls' night. They're selling to home decor ladies who love the aesthetic of their home and want to just create a good looking candle. They're selling to people that want to get into pottery, people that want to spend time with kids, people that want to do a cool thing for Christmas or Thanksgiving or different seasons. This product is just one product, but they're selling to a massive plethora of avatars. And this is unlocking a higher or larger TAM for them. So you can see here, this is a creative here for a relationship, right? The guy that is getting this ad is buying this for his girlfriend or his wife or someone he wants to go on a date with. That's a completely different avatar than who they're targeting in this ad, which is, say, a single person that's creating a do-it-yourself kind of project and a hobby more of a thing. So they are segmenting different avatars and they're breaking it up and looking outside in and asking, who can we hit with this product? And the more avatars they can hit, the more they can segment, the more they multiply their TAM and the higher they can scale, essentially. So that's exactly what they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong, all you need is one avatar to scale. But in this case, this product is so broad that segmentation and TAM multiplication is only going to be a bonus for them. Next, they have avatar-specific messaging. A lot of people, they just take their winning primary text on Meta and they throw it on a bunch of ads. That primary text or that headline may not be the most relevant for that creative or for that angle or for that avatar. So they're leveraging copy that's congruent with the creative and angle. Next, they have different variants for multiple avatars. Now, you can see here they have classic tones. They have pastel tones. This might be for someone that wants to use the product maybe during Easter. They have earthy tones, maybe more grounded individuals. They have terracotta. They have modernist. They have the fine tip pens, right? They have the black and white. They have holiday bundles. They are providing different products for different people. A lot of different people, they have different colors that appeal to them. They have different beliefs politically. They have different interests, right? Why not open up your audience and create a variant that is appealing to essentially anyone? They also are letting you choose your fragrance. So you have different fragrances, right? Ginger and orange, this might be a little bit more of like, say, I don't know, a fruity, playful scent for a different kind of type of occasion than maybe a basil or citrus, maybe more of a relaxation spa-like scent. So not only are they creating different variants for different avatars, but they're creating different scents for different avatars. This allows them to appeal to people with different interests, beliefs, and personalities. Next, avatar-specific AOV optimization. Guys, this is one of the very few brands that I've ever seen do this, and this is brilliant. Now, if you look at this, you'll notice they have an entry-level kit. This is $75. However, you can also buy the night bundle, which is a date night bundle, or a double date bundle. This is brilliant, and I'll explain why. Because when you upgrade from the entry level to the mid-tier, that's another $44 on their AOV. And then when you do the double date, that's another $74. Now, why is this brilliant? Well, guys, I'll tell you why this is brilliant. They aren't just guessing in their offer. You'll see they're pushing the date night thing very heavy. I can almost guarantee you this is a majority of their market. This is the avatar or the angle that they're scaling the hardest. So what they're doing is they're anchoring the price for that avatar. So you get here and most people are probably hitting this lander to buy a date night set. So they come in and they're able to kind of vet the avatar with a specific offer. So if I hit this lander, I'm like, okay, $75. And then I get here and I see, oh, date night bundle. Oh, well, I was buying it for a date night. So I qualify for this offer. And they're positioning the offer perfect because they're anchoring this date night bundle against just a normal kit. And you start to understand that most people were probably buying for date night anyways. And they're showing that, hey, if that was the case, this is for you. And they're vetting the avatar for that specific offer. This is brilliant. And this is avatar specific AOV optimization. What else do they do? Guys, this is the moat. This is one thing that I see that really differentiates people that do, 1K days in e-com and 10K days plus is typically the guys that are scaling the hardest have the best moat around their product. It is inevitable that as you scale, people are going to see that you're doing well. So what protects you? And, why would people not want to come in and compete with you? Why would other brand owners not want to come in and compete? This is your moat. It starts with the air dry clay formula. They're saying here, you don't need a kiln, right? You don't need to put this thing in a super hot oven to dry the product or actually create the pottery itself. They have an air dry clay formula. This is a mechanism. This is a unique mechanism, but it's also somewhat of a proprietary mechanism. They're not just selling Alibaba clay like this shit clay that you buy in Alibaba. This is their technical moat. So this air drying clay is probably a specific type of clay that you can't just get super easily. So this is the first kind of element and aspect of their moat. From here, they have the complete system. They're not just selling you the clay, they're selling you the kit. And this kit comes with the air dry clay, it comes with the paint palettes, it comes with the brushes, it comes with the wax, the actual candle wax. It comes with the fragrance, these little essential oils that you put in the wax bags. It comes with the wicks, the instruction guide, and the custom box. And then lastly, the primer to actually seal the clay. Guys, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different SKUs in the kit itself. Now, this is massive for their moat because the more that they're including in this kit, the harder it makes it to replicate the kit. So if someone even looked at ripping them or trying to sell the same exact product, chances are they would struggle because this is a very complicated supply chain. To be able to understand and manage all of these SKUs accordingly, chances are they have very different MOQs for all of these different products, right? So this is a very complex supply chain that they're managing here. And this is also, this complexity is adding to their moat. This is a brilliant example of an operational moat. Next, they have a content flywheel. Now, you guys can see, I'm not going to go into their ad library today, but you can see the types of creatives that they're running. They have Mother's Day gift angles. They have angles for, mom and daughter. They have angles for just a lady that wants to kind of get into the hobby. They have so many different types of creative. They have UGC. They have B-roll creative. They have static images. This is adding to what's called their content flywheel. You can look into their Facebook ad library after the video, and you'll notice that they have an insane mix between UGC, B-roll videos, statics, and then other creative concepts as well. So this is a moat. This is a system that's very hard to operate at scale. Not everyone can do it, or else they would be doing it. So this is adding to their moat, the systems and the way they operate the brand and the content or the creative output in general. Lastly, another part of their moat is just the customer journey. From before you even buy the product and you're envisioning what it feels like, to unboxing it, to the multiple steps, from when not just you create the pottery and the candle, but also when you're lighting the candle 3 months down the road. These are all touch points, and they have so many touch points on the customer. Now, this is a massive pro if you do it correctly. If you provide an amazing service and have an amazing product, these touch points are only going to help. However, if you don't, it's going to be hard. So this brand has really refined that and optimized that over time, which is part of their moat. Now, let's get into the last one. Guys, sensory is unique. I'm going to get into how you can kind of apply this for like supplements, dropshipping stores, etc., and give you real examples. No one talks about sensory, but if you guys like this video, just like and comment, please. Let me know if you want more videos like this down the road. I love making these. So sensory experience, that's exactly what Sculpt does. If you look at this, this website, you can just kind of feel the sensory and the dopamine hit. So let's get into the first thing that they do. Now, I want to just tell you guys, everyone can leverage sensory experiences. It doesn't matter what type of product you're selling. Do not make excuses. This is applicable for so many different products. And I'm going to give you examples right here. I'm sure everyone's seen an Apple AirPods case. Now, what's brilliant about it? They've created a sensory experience. They have that magnetic snap closure. It has that satisfying click. I can almost guarantee everyone that's watching this video that has used AirPods, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a subconscious habit to just fidget with kind of the flip of the case, right? This is intentional. This is a sensory experience that impacts your opinion on the product, right? And it really just is ingrained in your head. You don't think about the fact that this adds to the experience and your impression of the brand, but the next time you run out of AirPods or your headphones are lost, what are you going to go buy? This product's going to be in your head because of part of the impression that it's made on you. Oreo cookies. This will be mainly, I don't know, is this mainly for people watching from the US? I'm not sure. If you're not aware of what Oreo cookies are, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry to hear that. But this is a really cool sensory experience as well. You have kind of the twist apart, right? Then you have the snap when you bite. You have the smell. Everyone knows the smell of an Oreo before you kind of bite it. And then you have the texture as well on the cookie itself. These are all sensory experiences that add to the experience. Other examples, a Coca-Cola bottle opening. You know that twist in the pop of that bottle. A Pringles can, when you open the Pringles can, you have kind of this pop noise, right? Bath bombs, when you drop, say, a bath bomb in a bathtub, you can hear the fizzle. You see the colors spreading throughout the water. These are all sensory experiences, which are amazing. They're triggering dopamine, and they're actually helping to promote the product and incentivize more lifetime value, with their customers. Next, they create a ritual. Now, when you create a ritual, you have repeat engagement. A lot of people talk about repeat purchase, but think about repeat engagement. You don't have to sell this consumable supplement that people take every day to have LTV. You can sell products that people still just engage with every day, because the LTV might not come from them running out of the product or it breaking. It might just come from that engagement that's always in their head. They're always using the product. And then every time, maybe one day when they use it, they think, oh man, I really do love this thing. I'm going to buy another one for a friend or whatever that may be, or stock up. So this repeat engagement is very, very important. When you're lighting the candle, this is the last step, right? When you're lighting the candle, you're connecting that memory of creating this pottery with the candle. It's absolutely brilliant because it's just repeat engagement. Then you'll also have those repeat consumable elements of this product. You run out of the wax, you'll run out of the paints, and then also maybe some of the other consumables like the fragrance and other things. Perfect example of kind of a hybrid between the one-time purchase product, but also having consumable elements. I always like to tell people that I kind of work with one-on-one that whether you're selling a consumable supplement, skincare, blah, 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 or more of a one-off product, there is always a way to get creative and have this consumable element within your ecosystem. This is a perfect example, right? There's always a way to do it. You just have to get creative and think outside the box. Next, sensory experience, the transformation journey. They're not selling a finished state, right? They're not just giving you this product. That's boring. Who wants to buy a candle? Now that I see this, it's like, now, am I the perfect person to buy this product? Probably not. It doesn't interest me too much personally, but I'd rather almost buy this than a candle now. After going through their whole ecosystem and understanding it, it is very exciting, right? So this is an elite brand and they're selling the journey to get to the finished state. They're not just selling the finished state. This ties hand in hand with selling outcomes. You have to focus on selling an outcome to your avatar. Don't sell a finished state. Lastly, they have multi-sensory stacking. They're stacking actually the different levels of dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. Now, this comes through the touch, the sight, the smell, and the sound. You can see here, you're touching the clay, and then you're painting it, and you're looking at the clay change visually. And then you're lighting it. You hear the sound of the wick. You hear the sound of the candle start to make those little pops. And then you smell it. These are all different touch points as far as sensory stacking goes, right? So this is a very, very cool product. And guys, sensory experiences are very, very important. I really encourage everyone to take these elements from this brand. And the best operators take things from completely different niches that are working from other niches and bring them into their niche or product and innovate within their space. This is a perfect example to do so, guys. So in summary, sell outcomes, focus on sensory experiences, segment avatars. Now, if you have an avatar and you've tested 30 avatars and angles and you're scaling on one avatar, great, right? But at least segment avatars initially, test different avatars, test different angles. And if you can scale on multiple avatars, you multiply your TAM, which unlocks more scale. And then lastly, build a moat. If you really want to find more consistency in your brand, provide a better customer experience, typically the better your moat gets, the better your customer experience gets as well. So this is something I also want people to, and challenge them to kind of apply to their stores, whether they're drop shipping, branded drop shipping, fully custom proprietary products and formulas. Build a moat, guys, really focus on it. So those are the 4 things. And I really hope this provided a lot of value for everyone watching. If you did like the video, just like and comment, subscribe. It really helps. I'll create more of these. Just let me know if you want some more in the comments, and then have an amazing rest of your day, guys.